policing the police every single day, and doing what the Charlotte County Sun newspaper and local TV stations won't do every single day.
Hey, Sherri County, this is Sherri County Cop Watch, and reporter for Cop Watch, Andrew Sheets, for 8 years, and running for sheriff now because I guess you got to do it from the inside. I haven't made comment on the sheriff's site for a while, and this is disgusting. He got an award for raising $100,000 for the youth ranch, yet what they don't mention is that this fucker, Sheriff Bill PRUMMELL, is a goddamn criminal. So here you are praising a criminal. So many fucking criminal offenses in his 8 years, it's not even funny. In fact, and on LEOAFFAIRS, I swear Bill PRUMMELL must be running the goddamn site because they're taking down even his old crimes, which are still a crime. This is disgusting. So here you are, one sheriff praising another sheriff. Thanks for being the best criminal that you can be, and you get an award for that.
Ridge County Sheriff is behind bars tonight. Todd Pate is facing a half-dozen charges, including driving drunk and terroristic threatening. WLKY's Emily Maha tells us what police say happened.
Breckenridge County Sheriff Todd Pate is facing a half-dozen different charges tonight, including driving under the influence and terroristic threatening. Officers arrested Pate driving near Bowling Green on Monday. And in this police report, Pate's wife says he threatened to kill her parents, than himself.
That he had made statements that led them to believe that he was possibly suicidal and possibly a threat.
Kentucky State Police say when that warrant was filed, officers in Elizabethtown started looking for Pate.
Generally what occurs is we send out a computerized message to all surrounding police agencies, and once they get that, they're aware of the potential threat in their area.
They say during their investigation, they determined the sheriff was near Bowling Green. They called officers there to help locate him. Pate was initially pulled over because of the threats he made to his wife, but when officers stopped him, they say he had an open container of alcohol in his vehicle and was driving under the influence. Pate was arrested and taken to the Warren County Regional Jail. State police say officers from Elizabethtown and Bowling Green will investigate this case.
Post 4 will be carrying the investigation in reference to the terroristic threatening complaint, and Post 3 obviously carry the traffic arrest that occurred in Bowling Green.
Todd Pate is scheduled to be back in court on Friday. In Elizabethtown, Emily Maha, WLKY News.
The sheriff of Carroll County is normally locking people up for charges of burglary and drugs. Now he's facing similar charges that, if found guilty, could put him away for several years.
In a small town, you would expect the word to spread about the sheriff getting busted.
He lost his way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy was really tough on the, you know, busting people and stuff like that. And then when it turns around and happens to him, it's okay. You know, it's just not right.
This criminal complaint paints an unlawful picture of Sheriff Jamie Kinman. It says back in February, he went into this home in Carrollton twice. He's accused of stealing hydrocodone pills. The complaint adds Kinman was in uniform and carrying a gun.
And the drugs, you know, the addiction is a powerful thing.
The sheriff faced prior charges of misconduct and tampering with evidence. He was found not guilty last year. Talking to people around Carrollton, opinions range from disappointment to predictable.
Anybody in that situation, he is a good guy, but that doesn't help the situation of him being the sheriff. That's what made it all look bad.
I've known him forever, and he's not a nice guy. He's truly not. He got lost in the drugs, and that's his fault. You know, I mean, you walk around with the badge, you're not supposed to do that. End of story.
We tried reaching out to the sheriff, but so far, no response. I'm Curtis Fuller, WLWT News 5.
Good evening to you. Developing tonight, we were there as police officers seized thousands of dollars worth of school supplies from the Nowata County Courthouse. The sheriff there accused of embezzling all of it. Tonight we have team coverage of the arrest and the unbelievable accusations being made. First, we start with 2 Works For You reporter Ashley Wheeler, who is live in Nowata County tonight. Ashley.
Well, court documents show that Sheriff Kenny Friedman took $6,000 worth of school supplies that was supposed to be donated to Nowata school districts from a local Walmart. Now, just a couple hours ago, we captured the Nowata Police Department serving a search warrant, carting some of those supplies out of the courthouse. Now, they will be taking it and locking all of it up in evidence. The affidavit says the sheriff gave away some of those supplies at the sheriff's office booth at the fair. The sheriff says they had about 90 lunch pails that were donated to the schools, but since there wasn't enough to give it all of the schools, he decided to hand them out at the fair. A complaint was filed to the DA's office, and that's when Friedman says he asked commissioners to get it approved as a donation.
I think we've been going on 3 to 4 weeks now of trying to get that done, and the commissioners have failed to appoint or approve that those donations go across the board. So we've been still sitting here waiting for them to go through.
Friedman says he's been also accused of using the booth as a campaign table, but says it was strictly for the kids' enjoyment and not to benefit his campaign. Now, he also says he has no ill intent in giving away those supplies. He will remain the acting sheriff and says he plans to continue to serve the county. Reporting in Nowata, Ashley Wheeler, 2 Works For You.
The sheriff of Gallatin County is on the other side of the law, facing drug and gun charges. Authorities say Sheriff Raymond Martin sold marijuana, often while on duty, carrying a gun while trafficking drugs, and transporting the drugs in his patrol vehicle, this black SUV. All of this has people in this Illinois county talking about the 46-year-old, sheriff since 1990.
Done his job and all, and he wasn't no smart aleck, you know, treat everybody alike, and he's a good man.
We're friendly, and I like the man.
The marijuana charges come with a maximum sentence of 5 years. The gun charges, life in prison. Lee Powell, The Associated Press.
A county in disarray, as tonight their top cop is behind bars. A dramatic day in court ended with Sheriff Robert Arnold being taken into custody. News Channel 5's Nick Barris has more on the growing cries for Arnold to resign, but our team coverage begins with Chris Conti at federal court. Chris.
Rory, Sheriff Arnold had little reaction as the judge handed down her ruling today. He likely knew that this would be his last chance at freedom today, but probably never expected to be walking away from this building in handcuffs. Tonight, the man whose job it is to uphold the law is once again accused of breaking it. Time for Sheriff Robert Arnold was not on his side today.
Sheriff, are you concerned this might be your last few hours of freedom here?
At 10 a.m., the two-term sheriff from Rutherford County walked into federal court a free man. He would be leaving in a much different manner. It was clear from the moment she took the bench that Judge Alistair Newburn had deep concerns about Arnold's recent conduct, at the heart of which an incident that occurred on Labor Day in which the sheriff allegedly assaulted his wife. On phone call recordings to her boyfriend, Megan Arnold said the sheriff came home drunk from a pool party, then took Ambien. The two started fighting, and eventually the sheriff called one of his deputies to the house to, quote, scare Megan. In those recordings, Megan Arnold said, quote, what scared me is when he got on the bed and had his body weight on me. I'll put all my body weight on you until you stop breathing, the sheriff apparently said. The judge found there was enough probable cause to determine that the assault occurred, which was in violation of Arnold's parole. Investigators also testified that the sheriff coerced his wife into not speaking to authorities about what happened. Also at issue for the judge was the sheriff's apparent abuse of power by calling his deputies to the couple's Murfreesboro home. Quote, the sheriff showed a willingness to use his public office for personal privilege, she said. No condition of his release will ensure he doesn't pose a danger to the community. And that is when time for Sheriff Robert Arnold ran out, as the judge revoked his bond and U.S. Marshals led him away in handcuffs. Interesting to note here, the judge said her conclusion might have been different if Sheriff Arnold had resigned from his office. He will now likely remain in jail until that federal corruption trial in February. And we have also learned that Sheriff Arnold will now be spending his time behind bars up in Kentucky. That is the latest from outside federal court this evening. Chris Conti, News Channel 5.
After refusing to comply with a search warrant, Espanola police arrested the Rio Arriba County Sheriff this week. Now, newly released police video shows how it happened. News 13's Jeannie Nguyen is here to show us. Jeannie.
Jackie, in this video here, Rio Arriba County Sheriff James Lujan complains about being cuffed. This video also shows a large SWAT scene surrounding the sheriff's office with snipers pointing their guns at the undersheriff. It was a chaotic scene at the Rio Arriba County Sheriff's Office on Thursday. With the help of the Taos County Sheriff's Office, Espanola Police once again went to serve Sheriff James Lujan with a search warrant for his cell phone.
This is ridiculous.
Police say Lujan's phone could have evidence of him interfering with criminal cases involving Espanola City Councilor John Vigil and a man with a long criminal record, Philip Chacon.
Got it.
But even after Lujan handed over his phone, police still needed him to unlock it.
I will if I get a chance to talk to my attorney. It doesn't work like that. Marty, mira.
The sheriff continued to refuse to comply with what officers asked him to do.
I'm invoking my right to an attorney right now. Okay. You understand that?
So take him in.
Book me for what?
For obstruction.
Cuffed and now arrested, Lujan made it clear he was uncomfortable.
Can you move these to the front?
No, sir. Against department policy.
Well, it's tighter than hell. They hurt.
Sheriff, those are very, very weak.
Meanwhile, Undersheriff Martin Trujillo got to the scene.
But no, just stay here. No, I can't have you enter the scene.
Interim Police Chief Roger Jimenez then shows up and has a heated conversation with the undersheriff.
You know how it goes. You know how it goes. We're doing our law enforcement duties. That's it. District court signed it. That's it. Okay. Okay, so as soon as we're done, we're going to get out of your hair. Why are you calling everybody here to put them in
This is our
jail?
house.
Well, right now it's ours. Right now it's ours. We own the building right now. Shut up.
Espanola police quickly cleared the scene. Lujan was slapped with 2 charges of resisting, evading, or obstructing an officer. He has already been released from jail. Jackie, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Jeannie. Lujan also faces charges for another incident back in March. He's accused of showing up to a police SWAT situation, smelling of alcohol, and refusing to leave the scene.
Hey, Sheriff County, this is Sheriff County Cop Watch. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.